What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another one. And on this video, I guess we should have expected it, right? We got a battle over Title IX because Biden's trying to change everything. What a surprise he's trying to change it through pen, and political fiat. But rather than the legislature. Excuse me. But like it says, DeSantis, Florida will not comply with new Biden Title IX rules. Excuse me. This is from The Hill. I'll be posting a link down below, like always. But before we get into it, if you wouldn't mind liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff, that social media stuff that keeps the lights on in this place. But anyways, let's get back to it. From The Hill. It says Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said Thursday his state will not comply with recently unveiled changes to Title IX by the Biden administration. Florida rejects Biden's attempt to rewrite Title IX, DeSantis said in a video posted to the social platform X. We will not comply and we will fight back. We are not going to let Joe Biden try to inject men into women's activities. DeSantis continued, we are not going to let Joe Biden undermine the rights of parents, and we are not going to let Joe Biden abuse his constitutional authority to try to impose these policies on us here in Florida. The Biden administration on Friday unveiled a final set of changes to Title IX that add protections for transgender students to the federal civil rights law on sex-based discrimination. The changes will take effect in early August. These final regulations build on the legacy of Title IX by clarifying that all of our nation's students can access schools that are safe, welcoming, and respect their rights, Education Secretary Miguel Cardona said in a statement. All right, before we continue, I am one of those people that is against 10 laws being made for the same crime. Because at the end of the day, if you charge them with the 10, let's say, I'm just gonna give you an example, just a super hypothetical example. Let's say there's 5 different laws that because let's say the legislative branch went crazier, I should say. Let's say they went crazier than they are now, and they release 5 more laws, all based on diversity, the DEI, dreamers platter, right? Of all sorts of laws that are going to punish people, hate laws, whatever, right? A police officer can arrest you, charge you with all these things because of the DA or the ASA or whoever, right? They're going to charge you. The judge is going to look at it and go, okay, are the lessers included? Meaning the lesser aggravating, the lesser crimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna look at it and they're gonna go, okay, wait a second. This is BS. You can't just put 10 crimes here for one act. That's not the way it works. You can put maybe 2 crimes, 3 crimes, whatever. But the point is, that's why police officers sometimes will overcharge and pile them high to sell them cheap, because at the end of the day, when it goes to trial, or when it gets in front of a judge's desk, there's going to be a defense attorney, and he's going to argue, oh, well, this needs to be dismissed, this needs to be dismissed, this needs to be dismissed. And a lot of judges, because a lot of judges work to be elected, they're elected positions, a lot of them, not all of them, I'm just saying a lot of them are all across the country. The judge wants goodwill, right? So what does he do? He goes and he says, all right, well, we'll go ahead and get rid of this, and this, and this, and we'll let him, he's going to be charged with these 2, 3, and those are the ones that you'll go to court on. As an example. That's an extreme oversimplification. But the point is, there's no reason to continue to legislate and continue to create these new laws when you already got laws on the books that address these issues. There's no reason to. It's just to make yourself feel better. Because at the end of the day, there's bullying laws, there's hate laws, hate crime laws. There's all sorts of crap that you could stick somebody with as an aggravating factor, as an enhancement. They call them enhancements here in Florida. You don't need all these extra provisions to get somebody arrested. That's not the way it works. It's ridiculous to think so. The Biden administration on Friday unveiled the final set of changes Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. These federal regulations build on the legacy of Title IX by clarifying that all our nation's students can access. Oh, I read that. I apologize for that. DeSantis has been criticized by LGBTQ advocates in the past for state laws that they say harm their community, including the so-called "Don't Say Gay" law that restricts discussion on LGBTQ plus or whatever topics in Florida public schools. Actually, that's a lie, and that just goes to show you how leftist the Hill is. The "Don't Say Gay" law is a "Don't say anything about your sexuality" law. So it has nothing to do with not talking about LGBTQ plus topics. It's about not talking about your sexuality in any way because it's not your students' business what your sexuality is. You're there to teach history, teach math, teach whatever. Not your sexuality. That's not important. That's not why they're paid. The Human Rights Campaign (HRC), the nation's largest LGBTQ advocacy group, partnered with a Florida LGBTQ advocacy group last year to issue an advisory. I'm sorry, against traveling to Florida. So they teamed with another advocacy group. Great, two advocacy groups. Cool, cool, cool. Two advocacy groups. That's awesome. Taken in their totality, Florida's slate of laws and policies targeting basic freedoms and rights pose significant risk to the health and safety of many considering relocation and or temporary travel to the state. HRC and Equality Florida's travel advisory reads. Oh, for the love. The Hill has reached out to the White House. I'm sure that the White House gave the Hill something, right? Brandon Wolf, the National Press Secretary for HRC, said in an email statement to the Hill that already politicians in Florida, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and elsewhere are leaping to oppose crucial protections for students in America's school. These MAGA politicians are choosing theatrics and hateful rhetoric over protecting and furthering the needs of their state schools. I'm sorry, their state students. Wolf said in the statement, refusing to comply with Title IX could have damaging consequences for schools, including significant loss in funding on the order of hundreds of millions of dollars that should be going to helping young people achieve academic excellence. That appears to be a sacrifice that those whose only priorities are themselves and their own political profiles are willing to make. Guys, I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of 0.5% or less than 4%, whichever number you want to go with. They're the ones that are really making these they're saber rattling as if this is what's happening, and they're misframing completely what's going on because this is not about taking away from students and hateful rhetoric and all this. It's about it's not some black or white issue. It's a gray issue, and the reality is that you can't make the 99 or the 96% conform to what the 4% or the 0.5% are doing. You can't have them holding the 96% or the 99%, depending on how you look at it. You can't have them holding the vast majority of people hostage. You just can't. And I was just reading to you. We just reported on this, um, on the West Virginia bill that they tried to do something similar where basically the girls were being protected, um, so that transgender women or females or boys who identify as girls or whatever they felt, so that they wouldn't get scholarship opportunities that should be rightfully going to girls in women's sports and in young female sports. And that didn't go well. That didn't end up going well for West Virginia at all. Of course, they ended up being called racist and bigots and all everything under the stupid category, right? But the point is, they're they're acting as if the vast majority of students are LGBT. They're not. They're not. The vast majority of these kids don't care. They just don't care one way or the other. You know, if you're gonna pull a South Park and you're gonna say, well, kids, you can stay inside and do, math problems or history, pop quiz or whatever, a history pop quiz, or you can go outside and protest for transgender students. Guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna go out and protest for transgender students because that's what I would have done. And I wasn't. I was a conservative kid as a child. I was a conservative. So you know what I mean? Like, anyways, John Harris Maurer, Equality Florida's public policy director, also said in an emailed statement Thursday that DeSantis cannot ignore federal protections designed to safeguard students and families, including LGBTQ students, survivors of sexual assault and harassment, and pregnant students. I have no idea why he has to put the laundry list there, but whatever, they do, I guess. Thousands of parents have rallied at school board meetings to oppose policies that use their children's classrooms as political battlegrounds. We will continue to work with parents across the state to foster an environment where every student can learn and thrive. The department crafted the final Title IX regulations following a rigorous process to give complete effect to the Title IX statutory guarantee that no person experiences sex discrimination in federally funded education, a U.S. Department of Education spokesperson said in an email statement to The Hill Thursday. As a condition of receiving federal funds, all federally funded schools are obligated to comply with these final regulations, and we look forward to working with school communities all across the country to ensure the Title IX guarantee of non-discrimination in school is every student's experience. In a memo dated Thursday and shared with the Hill, Florida Commissioner of Education Manny Diaz Jr. told school leaders that Florida will fight the changes to Title IX. Instead of implementing Congress's clear directives to prevent discrimination based on biological sex, the Biden administration maims the statute beyond recognition in an attempt to gaslight the country into believing that biological sex no longer has any meaning, Diaz memo reads. This story was updated at 4:35 p.m. It's an ongoing story, I guess. Guys, I got nothing else to say. It's clear as day that they're making it out to be a political battleground. The left is the one making this into something it's not. Parents do not want this crap in their kids' schools. Most parents do not want this crap to be in their kids' schools. Most of them. And by crap, I mean they don't want this political back and forth. They don't want it, okay? This is ridiculous. The majority, you want to talk about democracy? Then why on earth is 96% going to bow over and bend over for the 4%, which is what represents the LGBT community, And that's a high estimate, 4%. So I don't know, you guys. Let me know down there in the comments if you could, like I said, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Either way, thank you for hanging out with me this much. You guys stay safe and stay based.